Whenever I run my AC, I collect the water, put it in my rain barrel. Looky who I found this morning. Any way to get cool these days, right? Hi, and welcome back. I've got some really exciting, something really exciting to show you. Okay, so what we have here is a pressure cooker that hasn't seen the light of day in I don't know how many years. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to clean this up. I've already gone ahead and purchased the seals and all the equipment to be able to fix this up as best as we can, to be able to have this functional again. Now this is a Presto Cookmaster cooker. It's not a pressure canner, but you can use a pressure cooker as a pressure canner if you're brave enough. Okay, this is model number 604, which means that this was actually, let's see if there's a date on here. No date, but it is a 4-quart cooker. But all the older pressure cookers have the model and everything on top. The newer ones have it on the bottom. So let's go ahead and see what we can do about this. We're going to go ahead and clean this up. Looks like I said, this was sitting in a barn. This was sitting on Grandpa's family property for I don't know how long. And it doesn't look like it has been cleaned ever since either. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. Now, if you find that you, say, go to a thrift store and find one of these that is in just about as rough a shape, you can go ahead and purchase it. Clean this out. I'm going to try using a very light abrasive on this, on the parts that won't come off. Never use a wire reel. You do not want to thin out the sidewalls. You never know what's going to happen if you do that. Okay, it can weaken it and it can cause cracking, explosions, all around nasty stuff. So let's go ahead and work on getting this cleaned up. Now, if you notice, these handles are really loose. All it is a screw, a really long screw that goes through here. I tried looking for replacement handles for this. Apparently they don't make them anymore. So if you know somebody who does really good woodwork, you can actually have some made. Now these are plastic. They're that hard plastic stuff that you see in the 60s. But I'm pretty sure that this is a lot older than that. So before we get cleaning, we need to take everything off of these, like the handles. And I'll go ahead and link where I got the equipment to replace this with in the description below, because finding seals for the older equipment is becoming harder and harder. This is not coming off. Hey, got one. No, I didn't. I broke it. You can tell that this used to be a screw, but it is so far gone. That it doesn't come out. I'm going to have to work on this handle later. I'm going to have to cut this off, bore a hole, get a bolt long enough to fit the handle. Okay, that's going to be done off camera because I don't have the tools right now to do this. I am so sorry. But we'll go ahead and get the rest of this done. We can still use this. It just won't have a something to pick it up with. I'll show you how to work with this until we can get it permanently fixed. So that was a bad idea. Like I said, this channel is about the good, the bad, and the ugly. You will always find something like this in a thrift store or whatnot. Okay, if you don't know how to bore a hole and tap it and be able to get it done, have somebody else do it, you can hire out to have that done by a machinist. Or if you do, then you have the skills to do this. All right, we're gonna leave that on. We do need to take off the vent. Now, I did buy a new vent. Okay, so here's all what came in this package. I have the ceiling ring with the automatic air vent. Okay, this is your automatic air vent. This little thing right here. This is the pressure stop. This is the emergency pressure valve. Usually all you need is a screwdriver and remove it from the little holder. But this rubber is so old and has been sitting in a hot barn and with snowy winters that it's hard rubber now and probably will come out in pieces. There we go. Now, this and the seal will be the most replaced piece on your piece of equipment. Because this seal wears off in about, depending on how much you use it, I typically replace mine about every 2 to 3 years. And if you take a look, this and this are exactly the same. Nothing's changed. Let me bring up here. Okay, this is the old one. This is the new one. And see how flat that rubber has gotten and how much deterioration there's been. Okay, it's good to replace this every once in a while. And this is the rubber seal. It goes on just like this. I feel like I'm missing a piece. Either that or this is not the right seal. Ah, okay. I see how it goes. It goes inside the groove. Vent post. Because of the age of this thing, I don't trust that this vent post isn't completely sealed shut. So I did purchase a new one. See if this breaks. Okay. This may not happen. And while I'm contemplating that one, here is the jiggler. Now it looks like there was only one style of jiggler for this one. I did not see any weight on it. This feels like it's a 15-pounder though. And this is supposed to sit like that and jiggle. So, let's see if we can get this one out. Alright, a little bit of work. I got it out without damaging it. So, if you look through it, there's hardly any light. So that's a good thing we're replacing this. Now we're going to go ahead and wash everything. Alright. This inside needs a little bit more help, because it looks like this is scorched. It's not smooth. It's that bumpy feeling. I don't know if it's because the enamel came off of it, or if it is just acid rotten through. Let's go ahead and get the heavier guns out. Okay, yeah, that's coming off. So I'm going to go ahead and off camera keep working on this. It's going to take a while. Okay, so now that we've gone ahead and scrubbed all that out, okay, you're still going to have some staining, no matter, unless it's brand new out of the box, you're going to have staining. Because of hard waters and, you know, actual processing and everything else like that, it's gonna scar. But we've gone ahead and made sure everything is smooth out of the bottom. It's not yellow anymore. It's actual, you know, gray. And another thing that I bought, remember the diffusers that I told you to buy? Always buy the diffusers. You don't want to skimp out on this. This is the little piece that goes to the bottom to help the jars not touch the bottom, so it doesn't clank and break everywhere. Okay, so now that we have this put together, or clean, let's go ahead and put this together. We are going to do a test run. I'm going to do some beans. Nothing too fabulous or glamorous, because you do want to test out the seals, the new seals that you put onto here, in a very controlled environment, and you don't want to do anything fancy whenever you're doing this, because you don't want to lose food that you could have you know, for your stores. Now I do have another one of these. Hopefully I won't break the handle on that one. It's just an extra expense. It's the cost of actually getting these used, especially when they've been sitting in a barn for a decade or two, because it will rust, because it's metal. It will rust over time. It will deteriorate. There will be some things that you can and cannot fix on one of these. The handles are really easy. Okay, that will take no time to replace. Even if I get new custom handles for this, okay, it's still going to take no time to replace. Now, if there is a crack in the pan or a crack on the lid, then the pan's gone. If you can find somebody who can recycle it, go for it. Do not try to fix it. Do not try to weld it together, because that is already a weak point in the pan, and that's what we're going to do whenever we're finished putting this together, is to see if there's any weak points. If there's a crack in the lid or a crack in the pan, we are going to go, or in the pot, we are going to go ahead and test everything out. If it tests fine, then hey, after I get the handles fixed, this will go to a family member on Grandpa's side. If anybody on my side wants one of these, just let me know. I'll keep an eye out. Okay, so we have the seal in. Okay, they're really easy. Even the newer ones, all you have to do is put the ring around it. The safety thing, the gauge, goes back into that hole. It only goes in one way, so you really can't mess it up. There we go. See? And now that is there, and it will pop up and create pressure, and it will seal this. If there's too much pressure, this will actually fling out and depressurize the entire pot before it explodes. Now, for the new valve, yeah, I can already tell there's a lot of, this hole is a lot bigger than this one. I can go ahead and just clean this out, leave it as a spare. But since I don't have a jiggler that fits it, I'm just going to throw it. Now, to be able to put this on, I actually recommend Loctite. Loctite is a liquid you put on screws to make sure they don't come off. Please do not put just this in the hole. Alright, you want to put some sort of sealer on there. Now, the only thing that I have, at least right now, I am out of Loctite. I haven't used Loctite in years. Is plumber's tape. This is the thread tape that you get whenever you do plumbing, whenever you replace your shower head, things of that nature. You want to wrap this around the threads. See, I don't know if this is going to hold. We'll find out. I may have to run to the store and get some Loctite. But this should be okay. I mean, we are dealing with water and water pressure, but this stuff really isn't designed for the heat. So you wrap it around as evenly as possible with this, and then go ahead and screw it on. I think that's too thick. Okay, so that's about as far as I'm going to be able to get it in there without stripping it, because even though you can fit a nut or a socket around this, it can strip if it's too tight. So I'm leaving it that way, and we're going to go ahead and test it that way. If it needs to be tightened any further, I'm just going to have the machinist, who's going to be doing my handles, get this down even further. Okay. Now, like I said, you can still use this without the handle, because this will seal. Just need to be careful with it. Ooh, that's a hard seal. That's a decent seal. Now, go ahead and remove this very carefully, so you don't want to break this. We're going to go ahead and do a test run. Let's put up all of our tools. Okay, so put that on the bottom. We got our 4 pints out. And I'm going to go ahead and cook some lima beans. One thing about doing beans as a tester is that you process this for the maximum amount of time without ruining any meat that you have in the home. Now, half a cup of beans per pint. Add water. If you want to add salt, you can. It's just a flavoring. If you want to use this with chicken stock or beef stock, whatnot, even better. Got a broken one there. We'll add a little bit of salt to these. Just a pinch. And now the water. Where did I put the water? Okay, now I do recommend checking your seals. If it needs to be replaced, please replace it. You don't want to mess with the safety on this. Notice I'm not wiping, it's just water. And it's a test run. Okay, it fits 4. So good for leftovers. Now whenever you first initially use this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to put a little bit of olive oil on the seal. That way it helps soften the rubber a little bit because of the shipping and everything else like that, especially in the summertime. So you want to soften this rubber up just a little bit. And olive oil is really good. Everybody's got it. Please don't use canola oil, ever. Just put a little bit of a bead on the edge. On the edge, just like this. That's all you need. Okay, and with any small pressure cooker that you have, you want to start this on medium. You do not want to go high immediately. That will actually, it doesn't speed anything up. In fact, it actually does more damage than anything else. So if you have a smaller pot, go ahead and start it on medium and turn down once it comes to temperature. We'll save the handle for the machinist. I don't think I'm going to be reusing this one though. It looks like it's kind of broken already, and it was broken before. So I'm probably going to have somebody custom make me some handles. Be better anyway. Brown is not my style. Now I didn't know if I wanted to use mine or the one that I bought. And I decided to go with the one that I bought only because I wanted to see how this worked. If that's too heavy, then we're probably going to need to purchase a new one. But this one actually fits. And this one is to my really big Bertha. Alright, now that this has come up to temperature for 75 minutes, cooled down back to temperature. I did use this. I don't like this. It'll give you the temperature, or the pressure gauge is actually this black dot at the top, and it comes up. You have to regulate it with the with your heat. But I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off. We're going to see how this actually worked. Like I said, until we get this handle fixed, let's go ahead and be very gentle with it. It's a really good seal. I'm not seeing any leakage in the jars. No siphoning. They're still cooking. That one came up to the top a little bit. It'll settle. Besides getting these handles replaced, I don't see anything else that needs to happen with these. It did work very well. I do need to tighten this down all the way because I did have water leakage. That is okay. I'm not too worried about it. It wasn't too bad. This worked like a charm. And the seal did do very well. So I'm very happy with this. Now all I have to do is find somebody to work on this. So this is recommended maintenance every 2 to 3 years, depending on how much you use it, because even rubber, after a certain amount of time, if you don't use it, will deteriorate. So you do want to go ahead and replace the safety valve and the seal. I would say that if you don't use it that much, about every 3 to 5 years. If you use it a lot and you do a lot of pressure canning and pressure cooking, 1 to 2 years. Okay, just keep an eye on it and make sure that you maintain the quality of it, because you don't want accidents. Okay, and that is it for this week. We are going to go ahead and probably do some like freezer meals or crock-pot meals for next time. I do have other projects that are going on right now that I'm filming piece by piece, and I will put those together as they come to fruition. You have a good week, and we'll see you next time.